still going. I've done the underside, flipped it, and I'm flattening this side, then I'll go back and get the other side bob on. Learned a little bit while I was doing the other one. I didn't get it quite flat because when I needed to move the clamps, I didn't get the same clamping pressure. So I'm about to move the clamps on this side. I've got little parallels underneath and I can feel tension on all the parallels. So when I move the clamp, I want to feel the same tension, and that way I'll be in the same position. The cutter is off the work, so I'm going to vacuum this up before I try and move clamps, and then I'm going to reclamp it. Stops on this side are just to stop the work shifting around, and the stops on the end stopped it shifting around. So it should be in about the same place, and I'll move one clamp at a time. But first things first, I'm going to vacuum off the top. Okay, there we go, that's prettier. I'll just bring you a different angle slightly. So what I'm going to do up this end first is I'm just going to get, this is right on its toe there, so I'm coming round. So I've got a really good clamp on there, and now unbelievably my parallel's moving, that one's still tight. So now if I can bring that tight, he's gone tight there but he's loose there. Okay, alright, so with him being loose there, I'm going to reposition this fella. And I'll get a couple more passes. It was frustrating on the other side. I hadn't realised how sensitive the clamping was because I didn't have the parallels. I couldn't feel where I'd got it right or wrong. And you only saw it as you made a cut, by which time still loose there. That's got it. Okay, so we're now down to the same as we were before. Now I'm going to move the clamps at this end. So it is a bit of a faff, but there's nothing less fun than seeing this coming all nice and flat. You move your clamp and you get a big ridge. Caramba. Okay, so you've seen what I'm doing. I'll do the same on this end. The machine's running well. I'm cutting 100 thousandths when I'm conventional milling. Coming back, I'm going at a medium speed now, and I'm stepping over 200 thousandths, and it's really doing it very well, to be honest. So I'm sticking with those settings. While I've been doing that, I had, in certain lots I bought from eBay, there would be a dodgy clamp involved, and these are old clamps that were broken, bits missing, or the bolts were bent. So what I'm doing is I'm repurposing them. I haven't got this type of clamp currently, so essentially I've threaded this end M10, so you put a stud down here, and then essentially you can adjust the height and then tighten up on your stud. Alright, it's just a different use for an engineer's parallel clamp. I'm slightly short on clamping stuff, so I bought one of these and it was good on good. So I've now just reused it. I did want to countersink it so I could have a really low profile clamp, and have a cap head socket, you know, goes down here. But I'd have had so little meat left, it would have taken so much of the guts out that I thought, no. Plus, I think the surface is slightly hard. I was surprised I could tap it though. Tapped out well, so I made a pair of those, and next time I see a cheap set of knacked engineers parallel clamps, I'll buy them and I'll do the same again. Quite pleased with that. Onward, ever onward. I'm going to reclamp, flatten, flip it, flatten, and then I'll get you back. We've decked this and it's reasonably flat. So now we're squaring off the back side, then this side, so there's a draft from the casting, so we're going to square it up on the two corners. We've put die-chem on and we're going to mark it up, scribe it out, and then start cutting our part. So this really is a good part of the machine. I've still lifted up on parallels so that I can feel that it's down flat. The underside that it's sitting on is the better side, so I'm working to that side. So I'll get it flat, get it square on two sides, then mark it out. We're in back gear. We've got a like a shell mill there, which is doing a decent job. We're in the back gear, and we're just chunking along. So keep chunking. Took me 2 days to get flat and roughly the right dimension. Well, that's chewing the metal behind me. I bought some knacked out engineers clamps in basically a state of disarray. I'm taking any of the good bits, so straight sections of thread bar, but most of them are bent. There's no point rebending them, they just don't want to play. So I'm going to use these in the same way that I cut those clamps earlier. So I'm going to use them for clamp downs. I'll have various sizes. I will have various sizes, various lengths. But it's nice metal and it saves me doing a lot of cutting. Yeah, hey, they were cheap. They came in at about £5 each. Okay, so £5 each, that gives me 2 toe clamps for my table. One of them was alright. Oh, these 2 bigger ones will be alright. Funnily enough, the ones with the coarser threads have done well, and the ones with the finer threads not so good. Right, got that edge done. We're mounted up, we've got a clock gauge, and we're coming backwards and forwards, and we're just seeing if we're running square, which we pretty much are. Not much movement on that dial there. Got to watch you don't clonk it here or clonk at the back end. But we're about right. So I'm going to put a more accurate gauge on, drive myself nuts, try and get this spot on, and then I'll have 2 square sides ready for marking. My goodness me. So we're getting somewhere, we're going backwards and forwards, we're keeping sort of even. I'm going to play around with it a bit more, but basically once that's absolutely square, I'm going to get it clock tightened right down. I'm going to put a clamp on this end as well. Okay, so we're well clamped down, we're pretty much dead nut square on this side. The tables come in slightly. When it's right out at the far end, it's got a bit of move on it. But we've got toe clamps holding it. I've got little stop clamps stopping it from spinning round. And I know that I'm clamped down even. That one's always been a mover. I know I'm clamped down even because most of my parallels, apart from one, which has always moved, feel good. There we go. One of the parallels always moved, but we've got 3 good solid parallels, so I'm happy. I brought the table back in, and we're going to give this a go. Then I'll come in again, take 10th thou and finish that out. We're in business. Okay, there we go. So after about 3 days of work, we'll cut the top off. My tatty sack, weight. We're checking out good and square on these faces. We're pretty much parallel on the top within 1/1000th, which I'm happy with. Now I've got to measure up, mark up, and get ready to cut out the actual piece that I'm actually wanting to make. So all that time just to get the square, flat, true piece of cast. We're marking up the inside of the block. I've got a height gauge here. I'm just setting my measurements, marking them on. The workpiece here is just set on some parallels, which are sort of averaging out the work surface, which is great because the work surface, as we know, ain't perfectly flat. And it just happens by sheer chance that the 0 on here just fits with the 0 height of this parallel. So that's great. So I'm just transferring numbers from my chicken scratch picture here onto my workpiece here. Now I'm going to have a series of lines that I'll roughly work to, but it'll be a slow progress. So there we go. We've got a centre line marked, and now we're going to put our tram lines in and just keep working at it. I'll bring you back later. Yeah, after a lot more marking out and whatnot, I got rid of the chicken sketch and did a bigger diagram with measurements on there, which are a bit more accurate and easy to read. We've transferred those onto our block, widths from the finished edge, heights from the finished edge, and we're ready to start cutting now, which is great. And because you don't feel like you're getting anything done, I've then just done a few more of those little finger clamp things out of parallel clamps, broken parallel clamps, and they're M6. So that's for my small clamp kit. We're getting somewhere. Righty-ho, I've got my lines marked up. I'm going to set the whole thing up on these parallels, 10mm parallels. Then I can drill holes, M10, bolt the piece down, and I'll be able to feel that it's even and down all the way. So that's next up, but as ever, you get distracted, and here's my distraction today. What I've done is I've chucked the Tormek grinder on its side. It's a T8, and this is a extra fine diamond wheel, but basically what I've been doing, my screwdrivers were needing a bit of a tidy up, and when I was trying to do it with the thing vertical on the side, I just kept getting lots of facets on my screwdrivers. So a screwdriver like that, you can see the ends a bit worn round and not quite right. If you put the grinder totally flat, the drive wheel doesn't engage. So I've got it kinked over a little bit. We'll give that a go, see how we go. Well, I'm just finding this really easy, just coming on the side. That's coming up. It's quite a fine pattern. It's not mirror. These wheels are hollow, so they ring a bit. But that's giving me a real nice turn screw finish. So I'm just working through my screwdrivers, tidying them up. I've tried doing screwdrivers before, and that's my favourite way. And next to it is my little baby Tormek, a little knife sharpener. Hang on. So there she be, little knife sharpener. It's got a diamond wheel on the side. So I've previously been sharpening my kitchen knives on my big T8, but it takes a bit of skill and a bit of guile to get them right. You know, all of my knives are a bit good on good, but never mind. So really this is a real simple system. That's one side of the knife done, and you have to turn around and come to the other side of the knife. The shortcoming is that when you come from this side, the hilt gets a bit jammed up against this boss, but I like a knife with a little nicker anyway, so I've nicked these knives back. Quick lick on there. So it's creating quite a nice even grind. Alright, good news. Hackosaurus Rex has evolved and has become Hackosaurus machinus. Fantastic. Went down to Black Dog Machinery, Leaning Bar, and this followed me home. So I'm absolutely chuffed. I've been meaning to do this for ages, and lo and behold, it's transforming my life. I've already had a hack of a big lump of bronze And you know, I didn't want to put that in the lathe part. It's a big piece to drop off. But Hackosaurus actually is bouncing off it, but Hacker-Machinus, bob on. In fact, I'm going to have to stop filming because this is going quite quick. Hurrah! Well, we had little tryouts at one end of my piece, and now we're just chonking straight down through. Pretty impressive. I'll have to spin the piece a bit, but this is a game changer. I've been waiting to get one of these and it's just turned up. So thank you, Black Dog. Let's have a look what it is. 6-inch bandsaw, but it's absolutely making mincemeat of this. Superb. Okay, well, that's a bit of a wowzer. Done a nice job of cutting through that cast lump, so that's made quick work of it. Great, things are speeding up. I keep getting waylaid and bogged down with other things to do, so speeding up's handy. I haven't done much to the saw. All I've done is just replace this washer here with a meaty washer, same at the top, just on the guides, and made sure that the blade was running dead square, side to side and forward and aft. So with that blade running square, and having just checked a few of the bits and bobs on it, I can't believe that. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to set this up on the mill and start milling out the top part. I've bought some interesting cutters to try out. They're supposed to be able to take slower speed, not land up with vibration. It's a mild ripper cutter for flute, and these are called only one cutters. Fine roughing, Y coating. It's got a Y coating on, so see how they go. The Hacker is not dead, but it's going to do a lot more resting. I'm gone. Thanks for watching.